Welcome back to the voice of Philippine football here on the ball. That is on the ball report, of course, to part two of our interview with the yes guy, Jim Tatti.
Quick question for you.
Hey, let me ask you something.
Can I ask you a question?
Can you dig it?
Yes, guy.
Can you dig it?
Yes, guy.
The man with the words you've been dying to hear.
Yes, guy.
This is the Yes Guy Show with Jim Tatti on TSN 1050.
Can you dig it?
We talked about Jim's background and how he makes people feel comfortable in front of TV, but he's also got a very, very successful podcast, and we know there's hundreds out there. But as he said, you've got to make it stick on the wall, and that's why people come back and listen there. So, Jim, sports branding. In these troubled times in COVID, how important is sports branding?
Well, I don't know that it's just in troubled times. I think it's in any time. It's the brand is what everything comes out of. And so whether it's a name or a product, I mean, that's what you're selling or, putting on display for people to be enticed by and to buy into. So, I mean, that's like the front door in a building right there.
So again, does this rely in your particular domain, whether it be podcasting, TV or radio? Is it you where you say, hey, we have this program or programs, we want to go after X company that makes X sports products, or does it go to marketing?
Well, it's, everybody has a different approach. The way I would approach it is somewhat simple. I would come up with an idea, and then I would see if it would be appealing to somebody, for somebody to sponsor. I don't really worry about the content because I'm confident enough that I could deliver the right content. Like I would have a sound or a picture of it in my mind as to how it was supposed to unfold that way. So that's not an issue for me. I generate a lot of content. I can do that for literally anybody on any subject. I mean, that's what I do. I create things. But, aside from, what I think of it, it's what everybody else thinks of it that makes it work. So you have to sort of get over yourself when you're coming up with these ideas and understand that, it's not unlike if I'm having a conversation with you, I have to consider your viewpoint and your side. Otherwise, I'm just talking at you and I'm not letting you participate. So it's the same thing with content. It has to sort of go out and resonate and then come back. And if it does that, then it would generate numbers and then sponsors would be interested.
We're talking with Jim Tatti, Hall of Fame, certainly in Canada there. This guy's got so much experience. I'm looking back on my time. I remember you and I first got together. You gave a lot of time on your show to soccer. We call it soccer, it's football here, but soccer. Right. And I remember it was the Euro Championship playoffs. And then you said, okay, now we're comfortable with this. And I'm thinking, I'm sweating. I used to lose about 3-4 pounds of weight every time I went in front of the camera. So that was good for me. Yeah. Keep the whole heart going there. But
then camera for a while.
What do I say? I'll do the jokes. Okay.
Yes, okay. Right? Well, you come up with one.
And then we did this miracle because you really stuck out in it, but it's calculated. We did a World Cup together. I mean, right. Geez, did I ever learn so much in front of TV researching what we're delivering? Because I got to tell the folks again, radio, you paint the picture with the ear, what's right. going on. TV, as you said, Jim, they know it. They've seen it. They saw the goals, the guy score the goal. How did he do it, Pete? Why was he on one leg? And you sort of encouraged that from an experience point of view. But holy mackerel, there we are with a World Cup.
Yeah, so, two things on what you just said. And I teach as well. So when I teach, and I just finished a radio course locally, when we're teaching radio, my line to my students is we're selling sound. It's all we're selling. How does it sound? For television, we're selling how it looks. It's a visual medium, so that's what we're selling. So in your particular case, you were asking me earlier how I come up with these things. So there's an obvious need on that. It was a half-hour highlight show. There was an obvious need for soccer. it was a big item. So I know you, I know that you know soccer, and I designed a little segment where we could do that. And because it was a championship, we did it every night for the championship. So it got a little tedious in terms of the give, but it was providing a service that nobody else was providing in the market, which is important too.
Yeah, it surprised me because sometimes when you come out of a sterile studio environment and you're walking along the street or you're doing your shopping in wherever you may be, we did have people come up and says, "Oh, geez, Tatti's got soccer on." So obviously that message was coming across to the viewer.
Yeah, and at that time, give me the year. Do you remember the year it was?
Oh my God, we've done together. I think we've done 3 World Cups for 12 years
We're
ago.
talking like 25 years ago, right?
Yeah. Well,
So-
yeah.
So 25 years ago, there wasn't the soccer coverage certainly in our market in the Toronto area that there is now. So I mean, the championships were covered, but it was still at a sort of an infant stage in terms of exposure. So that was the other power behind the segment, was that it was the coverage was all scattered. You could find it here or there, but it didn't come at you like it does now. Now you couldn't miss soccer even if you blinked. It's all over the place, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, due to satellite communications and very rich companies buying the rights to watching EPL, the English Premier League. Yeah, and I have to say, even out here, I subscribe to the EPL. I watch it nightly. Our time, of course, the games. So you can't miss out. But Jim, we're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back after these messages.
It's small, it's fast, it's skillful, and it's played on a basketball court. It's 5 versus 5. It is futsal, the fastest growing sport in the Philippines. Choose your selection of futsal balls from the top Philippines manufacturer, Sunsport Futsal Game Balls. You score every time when you choose Sunsport Futsal Game Balls.
Well, welcome back, Jim Tatti, yes guy. And he always had a one-off, not a one-off, at the very end of his show, he'd always say, "Thank you for spending time." How do you used to say that at the very end of your show?
Thanks for allowing us into your homes. Good night from Sportsline, which was the name of the show. Yeah.
And what we say is, have a safe week. Tune in next week. But I want to go back to the branding. How important is the research on an athlete who's going to brand a particular sports item? Let's say soccer shoes, squeaky clean. I mean, if you had a Maradona on the field, perfect. Off the field, a problem.
Yeah, I mean, whoever that person is an ambassador for the product, and so the ambassador has to be presented in a certain manner and sort of above reproach, which is, when you're in public life, which I am and you are, and any athlete is, you have a different set of standards. Like you can't, you have to behave a certain way. There's things that you're not going to do in public because you don't know how people, we have these guys now, right? So you're on, I used to call it open mic, camera on 24 hours a day, which is different than earlier in our lives, but that's the way it is now for everybody. So there's a certain behavior code you would have to have and live up to it if you're going to represent and be an ambassador for a brand.
Okay, Jim, before we let you go, again, push your podcast. How can people tune into that from across the world here?
Well, there's actually a couple of podcasts. One is Yes Guy, and it's on Apple. So you can just punch in Yes Guy in my name and you'll find it. And there's another one called Leafs Guy that I do for the hockey team, and it's wherever you can find a podcast. It's all over the place.
There you've got it. Our guest, very special guest, actually. We did finally track him down. I mean, I've been in the Philippines under the lockdown as well, about a year and a half there.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure whether that's the excuse. Or after COVID is sort of semi-disappeared, whether they're going to still keep me in lockdown, who knows?
They're not going to tell you it's over.
Oh my God! But anyway, Jim, we got to do this again. Probably in about a month. We got to catch up and find out how things are at your end of the world there.
Sure, absolutely. Looking forward to that. And hello to everybody from Burlington, Ontario, Canada.
There you got it, 7,200 miles away. Believe me, I've done that jet many times there.
Yeah.
And of course, our guest, yes guy, Canadian, pure, Jim Tatti, with so much experience in radio, TV, and podcasting there. I'm your host, Pete Irving. Tune in next week, and you have a safe week, and we are the voice of Philippine football.
You know what? Welcome to the world's greatest game of football. You know, you can be smart, you can play smart, whatever your sport. You dress like a pro for your favorite football team. It could be the shirts, the shorts. Best in selection, best in price is Bad Beat Sportswear. It's your team selection. Bad Beat Sportswear is your winner. Share, like, subscribe and ring the bell for news, interviews, breaking stories. Thanks for watching On the Ball Report.